So I'm going to have most of the games in here anyway. Let's take the bishop. If you are watching and you'd like to get in on these streams, send me a message on Facebook or email, whichever. So when you're up material, basically you just want to trade everything down and simplify. This fork is coming up. Yeah, let's just keep trading. That's a fork. I think Jamal says he's been playing not for too terribly long. Let's go check. And if you guys hear, okay, he doesn't want to do that. Okay. Good game. That was number 2. Yeah, if you'd like to get in on the streaming action, either send me an email at gapawa1985 or just find me on Facebook, Gary Warmerdam. So this is a blunder actually, because I can push this pawn and attack his queen and the bishop at the same time. King f8 is kind of a standard move in some positions where the queen comes out to g4 early. Okay, he plays queen back. So let's take the material. Knight here is sort of a threat, but I think he can parry it pretty well. So what I want to, but actually I want to get c6 in, so let's play here just so we can get c6 and limit his development of his knight. Let's go here, because I want to go here and provoke g3 and take here with the check and the fork on his rook. Okay, so let's take it. If he takes with the pawn, I can just move my... Okay, so I think that was a blunder. So, yeah. We'll just take the material. And this is another... That's more material if he takes the bishop back. So that was a little bit of a costly blunder. Okay, that's game 3. c6, okay. Always get yourself castled as soon as possible. That's my standard advice if you're just beginning. Castle as soon as possible. You could even castle queenside here if you wanted to. No, but then f7 will be falling with the fork. So you can't really do that yet. You can maybe play here, then castle queenside. But that's another principle, is don't move the same piece twice. I kind of want to play here now. But then he can take here and push. So I'm not sure if that's great. However, I can do this. Takes, and then push this pawn with the double attack. So out of this deal, I should at least win a pawn, because he has to guard his knight now. Alternatively, I had bishop h3, but then he could guard like this, so there's no f3 to win the knight afterward, plus f3 is always just really ugly. Okay, so I think we can just go ahead and win some material now. And I want to keep my light squared bishop because it's holding my king safety together. So I'll capture with the knight because of that. He'll probably play e6. Yep, it's a good move. And let's just go back to g2. I just need to develop my dark squared bishop, and I can play really simply here. Or I could go like this and play crazy. Let's play crazy. Because then if he takes, I can always give a check and win that pawn. And because this pawn's on g3, I'm not too worried about the semi-open file that comes after that. So let's go for it. Okay, let's go here. And if a rook comes over here, well, I have this check anyway, which is pretty dangerous. Light squared bishop activates. Although I probably want to go here first so he can't escape like this. He has to play bishop here, and then that's mate in one move, so I can actually pre-move queen to e6. Oh, it's not mate. No, it is mate. It was mate. I was like, that looks like mate. The server just took a second to catch up. Let's go for a Sicilian this time. Okay, whenever they play c3 after c5, I like to play d5. Okay, develop the knight. Queen a5 is kind of an option. Okay, let's go here. Put some pressure on his knight. I can castle queenside here if I want. Although, yeah, I can castle queenside. I wonder if he has knight e5 in this position. He's going for a similar idea. Okay. Probably queen takes g2 is the best option. I just have to make sure this check is not doing too much damage, because with that check I can just bring my bishop back. So I think that's okay. So let's go here. Threaten the rook, and then I'm also threatening the knight, so it's a double attack. And I'm also guarding my bishop at the same time. So this is the line he's going for. Now the queen is hanging, the knight is hanging, and the rook is hanging. That's a lot of hanging pieces. There's no such thing as bad content unless somebody's being rude. Being rude can sometimes make bad content, but sometimes, you know, a little bit of rudeness here and there, a little bit of trash talking, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, let's take with check, and then we can take this knight. Is there a mate? Let's take the knight. Check here, push, check. And if king goes here, then we have this check to win the queen. So let's start here. So let's win the queen. And if king here, then I have this check as well. Okay, that's game 5. Yeah, don't worry. You're rated 1,000, so I'm not expecting like GM quality moves. So no worries at all. We're just here for the diversity. Diversity of games and playstyle. He's got sort of a Dutch position going on. Little bit of a Dutch. Okay. Okay. Let's try to get something on d5. Another possibility was just to go here already and let him take. Give myself the semi-open c-file. So let's take. Let's go here, force him to go back to d8. And maybe something like this. That pawn is a bit weak. Don't know if that's a great move though. Okay, let's go activate our rook to c1. So yeah, he's doing completely fine in this game. No obvious mistakes so far. Let's push on the queen side. And if he pushes f5, I might just reroute like this. So essentially, my play is going to all be on the queen side right now. Maybe get a pawn to a6 and open up this long diagonal here. In fact, let's just put this knight back right now so I can recapture with the bishop if I like and retain my healthy pawn structure. Okay, c6 is good. c6 is good. Let's take. Let's push here. Now that we're going to have some pressure along the h1 to a8 diagonal. Okay. I want my knight here now. So let's reroute. Knight or the bishop wants to go here. He'll probably play bishop e6, which would be good. And then I will probably play my bishop into d5 and then have my strong knight outposted on d5 for the rest of the game because his dark squared bishop can't challenge it. So in this position, since it's pretty equal, it's the quality of the minor pieces that counts, and his dark squared bishop isn't doing a lot, so my knight on d5 would be a better minor piece. But you're playing really well, Jamel, in this game. I just wanted to let you know that. Let's put the knight in. So long as no big attacks happening here, I might be able to target these pawns. He wants to play here. Pretty reasonable, I guess. So I think I can afford to attack this pawn. I don't see any massive attack. If he gets a pawn, his bishop to here, maybe there's something going on. Okay, let's just go back. In case he starts attacking on this side, my queen will defend laterally. Yeah, now his bishop might be able to get in here, so this is pretty good. I'm gonna go here just to stop his bishop. I don't mind him taking on d3 because then d6 is weak. Okay. This looks like a pawn, but then he can take here. So I'm not 100% sure on that one. I also don't know if I want to open it up. So let's just push on the queen side. Let's attack b6. So if he takes there, then I can always come back here and win this pawn back this way. I guess I am giving up this pawn. Okay. Let's go here. Now this pawn is being defended. See how this knight is defending everything? Good game, Jamel. That was definitely your best game. If you can play like that in general, then you'll have a lot more wins. Okay. So in this opening, you can put the bishop on either spot. Let's go here, try to provoke e3, and then maybe here. Now I just want to develop my dark squared bishop in castle. I guess he could play e4 here, and then I could just go back. So if e5, then knight can come up. Yep. Let's go back. Let's castle. I could push d5, but that will very likely provoke e5 and then knight here, which is actually that's completely fine. Because whenever my pawn gets here, then that ensures that d4 is weak. Okay. Oh, he's taking. Okay. That's good for him. That's good. So we're going to take with the queen. And probably try to play c5 relatively soon. He would like to move this knight and then get the bishop to f3, I think. All right. He probably wants to go knight here, I'm assuming. Okay. Let's just push this pawn. I know this pawn is weak, but at the same time, my pawn on c7 was weak. I gotta speed up just a bit. Let's go here. He has to take back with the bishop or the queen, or he gets mated, which he didn't notice. Okay, rematch. That was game 7. We have four games left. Okay. This opening here is called the London. When you get early d4, bishop f4, pawns on c3 and e3. The London is a super solid opening. Okay, let's get the knight out. Alright, let's go bishop here. He'll probably play bishop d6, in which case I usually retreat it back to g3, because taking allows the trade to help activate his queen, so I'd rather not do that. And then also, if I go back here and he takes, then he's allowing me to open this H file for the rook if I hadn't castled. But I did castle, so it's kind of a moot point. A little bit. So he's about to castle. What to do in this position? This is a very balanced position. Okay, maybe I can think about playing here and knight here. This might be a fairly good plan. That will possibly weaken a7, and possibly some trades happen here, and then his bishop gets opened up. A4, 5. A4, 5, 5, 5, 8. A4, 5. Okay, he backed his knight up. All right. Interesting. So let's go here. He might play knight b6. Knight b6 could be kind of interesting. I could take his knight. I can take his knight here if I'd like. Yeah, sure, let's take the knight. Then if he takes here, I take the queen. Let's be greedy and grab a pawn. I've got to move faster though. We're going to be a greedy pawn grabber. Let's kick the bishop. So if he comes here, I always have this square, and then there's no attacking me on b8 because of my bishop. Okay, let's just go forward and try and kick his knight. Now he can go here, and I'll come this way. And if he takes that with his rook, then I have bishop c7, which is important. Okay, let's keep pushing. 30 seconds, I gotta go faster. Maybe here? That could be an interesting move. I might try to go for bishop a6. Oh, not anymore. Okay. Now I can win this pawn, but then this knight will hang, so he can't really win that pawn. C6 is hanging for him. Let's push the pawn. And then if he takes here, then yeah, that pawn is almost promoted. I might want to play e4 pretty soon, or b3. b3 actually makes more sense, I think. Get the rook to a8. He has to put his knight there, I think. That's not helping too much, because the rook here, then I have e6. Okay, I can go rook a8 here because of the pin, so he can't take b7. And then e6 is going to come. Okay, check. Good game, good game. Actually, let's go for a Caro Kann in this one. Okay. This is actually an opening. I don't know the name of this, but if you're an attacking player as white and you don't mind having isolated pawns, this is actually like a book opening. I've lost some games as black to aggressive, aggressive replies to the Caro Kann. Let's castle. Knight comes to e5. I want to try to get b5 in. He might play a5 to try to stop that, in which case I'll just go b6. Okay, let's go b6 and bishop b7. Find out a good place for this knight to go, and then I'll be completed development. I actually like the idea of rook e8, bishop back, and then this. Then I have either of these two squares. So let's try that. Spazzy's going spazzy? Oof. Okay, he's pushing a5. The typical response to this push is to play b4. Because if I allow him to take, I'm giving him the a file, which I don't necessarily want. And I'm also having an isolated pawn here. So this is very typical response, and he can't play knight to e4 here. This move looks good because it's saying after I take his knight on c3, then he can take my bishop on b7, but that's actually not working because I have the intermezzo move, bishop takes f3, and then I can take his knight, and there's no longer anything on this b7 square. And also this is wrecking his kingside structure, pawn structure. Yeah, it was a nice idea. It was a very nice idea. So now we collect the material. And let's go for the same plan. Well, we were going to go here, right? But my bishop hasn't come back yet. Let's just develop this knight to a normal square. So his bishop is a little bit of an annoying piece because it's stopping my rook from developing. Not super important. We'll just reroute this knight to g6, where it should have some activity with a kingside attack. Okay, let's put some pressure on c5. Okay, now let's challenge his bishop on g3. So again, if you're material up, just trade down and make it simple. Let's target d4. Check. Let's take the material. There's no rook here because I can just take it and win a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, I think we can win a pawn this way. Do I want to take that? Not exactly. Let's go here. No, let's go here. Keep the queen centralized. He would like to queen that pawn, and now I just have to make sure that he cannot queen that pawn. Okay, I'm really low on time. I gotta move fast here. Okay, let's take. I pretty much have to do some pre-moving here. Okay, my rook over there is guarded, so it's okay. There's mate. Okay. That was a close one. Good job. That was 9. Okay, we have 2 more games. This is an interesting opening. Push, knight to d4. Can play this maybe. Let's try it. That looks fun. And if he takes, then I take here. And if he does push this one, I'll have knight here and at least grab the bishop pair that way. Okay. So let's take the pawn. And then castle. He could take that one if he wanted to. Alright. Let's go ahead and take that one. Let's just castle. He can take this pawn, of course. And then I'm going to play here. So if he takes, then I have this check with the fork. And otherwise I'll just keep piling up pressure on d5. Okay. Let's go here. He can take here now and I can't take that pawn, but these pawns are sort of doubled and on the same file, so they're just going to get in each other's way. Okay, let's take now. Let's give him an isolated pawn on the d file. Maybe play knight out to a4. Bishop b7, something like that. is that good though? I'm not sure. Maybe here. Pushes, then knight a4. Maybe that's a little better. We'll try that. And if he just takes, then I'm completely fine. He's opening up my light square bishop. Okay, let's go with the plan. Knight a4. Probably bishop back. I might have some f-pawn things happening here. Let's try it. We're making some weaknesses with check and stuff like that, but he doesn't have enough pieces to actually make that attack work. And if I can get this pawn to f6, then that will disrupt his kingside pawn harmony. So he did give the check like I thought, so we'll just move over. Ah, I didn't see that move. Okay, I can play bishop b2, which may be the wisest, and that will also be attacking this pawn. So yeah, let's play bishop b2. If he takes, I'll take here, and I'll be hitting this pawn twice, and you might have to push it. Okay. That might be a good move. That probably is a good move, actually. Let's push here. So if he takes twice on this one, then I can take that piece. Okay. He is allowing me to take this now, though, and then takes, and my queen is now able to defend this bishop laterally. So that's just a piece. Hang. Okay, let's hit the rook. Play f6. He also just hung the knight. Let's go here. And what? Let's hit the knight. Probably rook here is necessary. And let's attack this d pawn. And if rook here, I probably can just come back with my other rook. Okay, we have one more game. Last game. Last game. Let's go for a King's Indian opening. Okay, let's go d6. And e5. It looks like this pawn is hanging, but it's not really hanging. And then let's go c5. Okay, let's play knight h5 to try to play knight f4, and if he takes, then we open this long diagonal for my bishop. Okay, so he does take. And he immediately challenges. Interesting. So I think I'll... very interesting. Let's go here. You kind of want to sack the pawns in these almost Banco style openings. I don't mind if he takes that pawn. I'd rather not take and open his rook on the h-file. So yeah, I'm going to play b5 next move, pretty much no matter what he does. That's a piece, and also forking the rook. Okay, let's take the material. Let's take this pawn. And then I want to play knight here and queen here. Although I think I probably can just take this pawn now. This looks scary, but I don't think there's too much in there quite yet. Is there anything in rook takes? I don't know. Oh, he wants to activate this bishop. That was a good move. Let's push. That was a good move. I need to activate my pieces. Maybe pushing here is good. That one wasn't quite as good, I don't think. Let's go here. This looks dangerous, but he can't kick my queen quite yet. Not quite yet. Okay. Let's go here. Threaten rook to f2. That looks scary. I don't know if it's doing a lot. Let's go check. He is threatening almost mate there. Okay. Let's go here. Because if he goes check, I can just block with my bishop. It's not the end of the world. I'm running low on time. I need to keep note of that. G2 might be a thing at some point. Okay, let's go here. He wants to say check there after the trade happens here. That's a queen. This is mate in 2 if he doesn't do anything about it. Oh, it's also just mate in 1 right here. All right, that's it. That is the match. Thank you, Jamel. I do appreciate you. And let's see. Let's finish up the QuickTime recording. File. So, stream of the week. Versus Jamel.